and welcome back to Vortex Vixen. What you seek is seeking you. We've talked about this in past episodes, and so now we can explore how is it then that we manifest? As in, what are the steps? Certainly there are all kinds of ways that we can do this, and in fact we're manifesting right now without even realizing it a lot of the times. But how do we manifest with intention? I'm going to give you 4 different steps that I use that I've proven to be successful to manifest anything from money to material items to love. So before we begin, you must remember that you are a creator. Even the Bible says, ask and you shall receive. So here are the 4 steps of the process of manifestation. Number 1, first we must ask ourselves what it is we want to manifest. What is it that we'd like to change in our life? Why do we want it? How will it improve our life? I can tell you right now that the most common things people want are money, for obvious reasons. Money is a very useful tool for us to navigate around this dimension, to get the materials we need to live a more comfortable and enjoyable experience. Other material items which may improve our life are health, which I believe is one of our most valuable assets, because if you don't feel good in your physical body, then anything else you have can't really be appreciated or utilized correctly. And lastly, and most importantly, is love. And also, I'll let you in on a little secret that you already are infinite love. You have infinite love, whether you realize it or not. So just keep that in mind, although I know we all crave usually that romantic type of love as well to fulfill our lives. So as an extension of step 1, now that we've asked what it is that we want, we have to also ask ourselves, why don't we have it currently? What may be blocking it from coming into existence? What sorts of fears do we have surrounding it? What kind of programmed beliefs are preventing it from easily being here right now? We have to ask ourselves, why are we currently manifesting what we don't want? And the good news is that with intention, we can change this. Sometimes it takes a little bit of exploring within ourselves, discovering why it is we may not have something, or why it is we are sick. Usually it's an energetic blockage of some sort, or these old harmful programmed belief systems that we need to let go of. So before we move on to the second step, I want you to explore this as best as you can, to really dig deep within and see what you may be doing, because we are all responsible for what we create, to prevent what you want from being here. And again, it always goes deeper than something physical. So now that we know what we want, we have to ask. So step 2 is to ask the universe, ask God what it is you want. Put it out there. We can verbally say this, we can write it down, whatever works for you. So for example, say I wanted a new bass guitar. I could say, universe, I really, really want this new, very specific bass guitar in the color green because I feel like it would drastically improve my life. Think of it as writing sort of a wish list to the universe, kind of like you would a Christmas list as a child. It sounds silly, but always know that the universe is listening to your thoughts and to your words. If it works for you, you can even meditate on it and say it in a prayer. Alright, so here's where the power of your mind really comes in, here in step 3. So step 3, visualize it. Meditate on it. Picture it in your mind. If you had this thing, or this person, or this experience, how would it make you feel right now? Meditate on that feeling. What would it look like? What would it sound like? What would it taste like? Really hone in to your power of visualization and picturing it, imagining it as if it's happening right now. Because we're always told that seeing is believing, but that's not how the universe works. It's actually that believing is seeing. So we must tap into the frequency which supports this belief, that we already have this thing or this experience. So as you're picturing yourself already having this, you have to ask yourself, well, what would I do? How would I feel? How would I act? Would I be more confident? Would I feel inspired to ask out the girl at the coffee shop? What would I do? Since we are ultimately energetic beings, what we're trying to do here, by picturing whatever it is you want in this now moment, is to shift and change your frequency. Because once we do that, and we feel good and we're happy, and we live our life as if we already have everything, because we do, then we attract more of that. And that thing that we desire can flow easily to us. Something that may really help with step 3 is making a gratitude list every morning, or verbally saying it. All the things that you're grateful for that you currently have, but also on that list, put those things that you desire. But the important thing is that you make sure you do it in present tense. So for example, I may then say, oh, thank you so much, universe. Thank you for helping me find my twin flame. Or thank you so much for this brand new car. It helps me out so much. I just wish to constantly appreciate my unending gratitude to you. And do this every day. Read this list every morning when you wake up and before you go to sleep. Again, we're reprogramming your mind to believe that these things already exist in this now moment. Because ultimately they do. Time is not exactly how we think it to be. It is not linear. All we have is this now moment. So whatever it is that you want exists right here and right now. We just have to tune our frequency to align with that of what it is we want. So if we're feeling sad, but let's say we want to find a lover who we really resonate with, and they're up here, then we have to fine-tune our frequency to rise up and match it so it easily is attracted. So after we've done this, we then need to make sure we act on our highest excitement to the best of our capability in every moment, to live with passion. If you feel inspired to do something all of a sudden during the day, it may seem like it's not even connected at all to what it is you want. Maybe you felt inspired to read the newspaper that day. Trust and know that that ultimately is part of your divine path to attracting whatever it is you want. So maybe on this particular day you read the newspaper and it seems very unlike you, but you read it and there's an author that writes this beautiful article that you just love and resonates with you so much. And her name is at the bottom. And you feel inspired to look her up. And so you look her up, you're led to her website, and the very next thing you know, you find yourself emailing her. And which then can lead to a whole event of other things. And who knows, that could be your ultimate, truest reflection, your lover, your future friend, who knows? Trust that it is all connected. Most of us are constantly saying, we want this or I want that. It's always this unquenchable desire. And I always think of it as God or the universe responds yes to whatever it is we say or believe. So if we're constantly saying, man, I really want $1 million, God responds, yes, yes you do. You see, but it's not really making anything happen. Or we say, man, I really wish that I could just find a great friend who lives in my state and understands me. I wish, and I want. And God still responds, yes, yes you do. But so what? We have to change our language, what we actually say and what we think, to phrasing it as, I am already a millionaire, or I have the greatest friend in the world. Then God responds, yes, yes you do. So if you keep sending that out there and reflecting on that, then the universe will respond. It always does. So the last and final step of the process of manifestation. Step 4. And this is the step that it seems most have trouble with. And I know for me in the beginning, it took a while for me to understand it and practice it. So step 4 is about letting it go. You've put in all this work and all of this intention. You've made it known to the universe of what you want. But now we must let it go. After we've focused on it for a certain amount of time in the day, we then have to just send it off and go on our way. We have to be whole as a person now, with or without it. We have to trust that what it is that we want will arrive in perfect timing. This sometimes requires a lot of patience and reassurance of yourself. If we spend just tons and tons of mental energy on it, worrying about if it will or will not show up, then we're creating resistance. And what do we know about resistance is that when there's tension and there's pressure, it's harder for things to flow easily to you. We have to know and believe that we truly have changed on the inside, who we are as a person. That now that we're practicing being in a happier state of being, that it's real. That we're not just doing it with the sole intent of getting that thing, but being happy because it makes us feel good, and we know it improves our life. If you keep constantly checking in the mirror every day, being like, is it here yet? Has it changed? See, that's proof enough that you haven't changed, because you're allowing these external circumstances to define and mess with your emotions. We have to let go of all expectations of how it will happen and when it will happen. For some reason, this seems to be really hard for us humans. We always want to know the process of everything. But once you let go and trust and let divine magic happen, you realize that it's quite easy and a lot less stressful, because we are ultimately whole. We have to remember that this thing or that thing, or even the love of another person, still cannot define us or make us happy if we aren't inside. Who knows, maybe the way in how the thing you want comes to you is in a totally different way than you'd ever expect. Don't worry about the fine details of how it's going to get here. Just trust and know that you're being guided in every moment. So I hope this has given you a little bit more insight on these steps to intentional manifestation. Because whether we like it or not, we're constantly manifesting things. We're constantly attracting things into our lives based off of our behavior and how we feel. So knowing that, wouldn't we want to do it with intention and with love? I'd like to know from you if any of these steps have helped you, or maybe you have a practice of your own that helps you attract things into your life that you really want. There's no one way to the truth. We all have to follow our own inner truth, and I hope that sharing what has worked for me to finding my guiding light helps you too. Thank you so much for joining me, and much love to all of you.